Okay, now, in order to get this to move down every 20 feet, we're going to set this to a relative mode and type -20 and hit enter. And we're going to hit over here in the command panel slice. Let's actually put that cut in at 20 feet. Then in the Z section for move down here, -20 again, and then slice. Like I say, kind of boring, -20, enter, slice. -20, enter, slice. -20, enter, slice. You can see that these are adding up. So you're just going to go all the way down this, and each time hitting slice. And now keep in mind, as we do this, we're working all the way around. The slice plane only works on selected polygons, so it's not going to affect the shoulder, which is really great. You can see why some people might not love slice plane, but how else would I get this evenly done? Well, I guess there's probably a couple of strategies. You could also make that a shape or a box that had like a whole lot of segments in it, and then model the shoulders separately. But this is a good way to show you slice plane and how you can use it to your benefit. There's also, the kind of thing that makes you realize why you really like, cloning and modifying buildings instead of repeating things so often. So if you think of real life in our world, there's plenty of buildings that look really, really similar with slight modifications. Or you'll see like a few gigantic hotels, right? And all the windows look the same. So if you look at this sample over here we have on the right, that's exactly what we did. We created something that was kind of difficult to do and tedious. You know what, I might leave that last one open because I'm going to figure that ground floor is going to be taller than other floors. So to exit slice plane, just click on the slice plane button, and there we go. So now that I've got that, I'm already selected. Now, since that is a pain to select, I just might call this walls or something, or whatever you want to call it up here in the section where we can save and name a selection. The idea behind it is if I deselect it, I could always drop that down and hit walls. As long as I'm in the polygon subobject, that's going to work. So right now, I'm saying, well, okay, got all those selected, then let's inset them and then do an extrude back. So inset, I'm going to do it by polygon, and that's critical for this. I don't want it an inch in. I'm going to say, well, my frames are going to be, 4 or 5 feet. Whatever I want, hit OK. I might even select those as windows, right? Because that would be very difficult to reselect. And then right-click on this and go extrude. Definitely by polygon, and pull that back a little bit. I'm going to say, well, maybe that goes back 3 feet. I'm going to zoom in and see what that's looking like. Maybe I want to come in just a little bit more. Alright, and hit OK. And now, that selection that we made is really going to help us later because we are going to put materials on that. So I can go back into that and go Windows, and bing, there it is again. Okay, so we don't need to go into the detail of making this whole building. Alright, because I think you can get the idea that, we did very simple things with this. We might have just done that. I might have gone up here and, scaled that in. By the way, when you scale, you don't always actually want to scale. Sometimes you really want to be moving things. So be aware of that as you work with this sort of thing. I might want to really be moving that because I don't actually want to be scaling it. because I don't want like the frames of one side of the building to be changing. So that's all good stuff just to be thinking about as you work with all this. Okay. All right. So that's one way to play around with that. And then, you know, if I did that, then I would want to select one of these and then go attach and then make that truly part of that same object. That way when I apply materials, etc., everything's going to work just dandy.